I'll be showing you guys how to make a kid's dress, and for that I'm going to be using this fabric. You can use about 1 yard of fabric, depending on the age. So for this is a 5-year-old. So the first thing I'm going to do is to open the fabric up. So guys, the way this fabric is folded into two now, I'm going to be using it as my length. So you can always just check the length you want to use, because I want it to be just on the knee. So you can always check the length you want and then add about 1.5 to it for your seam allowance. So that's what I'm going to do now. So for that, I'm going to be using the whole length that I have here. So I'm going to be using 23 inches here. That's including my seam allowance. So the next thing I'm going to do is to cut out the width. So for this, I'm going to be using, since it's going to be an A-line dress, I want it to have a little flare at the bottom. For the flare at the bottom, I'm just going to use 11 inches for the A-line here. It depends on you how much flare you want to have at the bottom here. So I'm using 11 inches here, so mean 11 on each side, because this is folded into 4 now. So 11 on each side, meaning when I open it up, that's including my seam allowance, I should have around 40 something as the opening at the end. So I'm going to cut this out now. So guys, the first thing I'm going to do is to measure. So now I have 2 pieces of this, one for the back, one for the front. If you count it, I have about 4 pieces here. 1, 2, 3 and 4. So 2 folded on each side, 2 folded. So 1 is for the front panel, 1 is for the back panel. The first thing you're going to do is to place your tape. The shoulder measurement you're working with, divide it by 2. So for me, I'm working with 10. So I divided it by 2, I have 5. And then I'm also going to remove half an inch from that 5. So I'm left with 4.5. So instead of 5 inches, I'm working with 4.5. So I'm going to mark that here. And then mark the armhole. So the armhole I'm working with is about so the armhole I'm working with is 14. So that divided by 2 is going to be 7. So I'm going to mark it here and then connect it up to this point here. The next thing I'm going to do now is to check what the chest measurement or bust measurement will be. So for me, for the child, the bust measurement I'm working with is about 24, and 24 divided by 4, that's 4 pieces here, is going to be 6. So basically the bust measurement you're working with divided by 4. So for this one here is 24, divided by 4 is 6. I'm going to add about half an inch for ease, or about 1 inch for ease, because I don't want it to be tight. It's a child. So if I add about half an inch, that's going to be 6.5. And then extra 1 inch for your seam allowance. So in total, I'm adding 1.5 to this. So I'll have 7.5 here. So I've marked it here. So what you're going to do, so that's basically it. What you're going to do now is just connect this line from this point here to this point here. You're going to connect it. That's the only measurement you need here. So I'm going to just, if you have a ruler, that's even better. So you connect it this way. So this is what the dress would look like. So you come in here to the neckline. The neckline I'm working with is about 2.2. So I'm going to mark it here. Come down by about 3 inches. And then connect it this way. This is for the front neckline. And then for the back neckline, what I'm going to do is to come down by 1 inch. But I'm going to mark it here. And then also connect it this way. So what you're going to do now is to come down here by not 1 inch. 1 inch is what you normally use for an adult, but for this I'm going to come down by 0.75. So I'm going to mark it here and then connect it this way. So this is basically it. I'm going to now trace it out. So you start from this here. You start from the one for the back panel, so that once you're done you can separate it. Cut this out, move it this way, and then you come down this way. Guys, this is what it looks like right now. So I'm going to separate it so that I can cut out the neckline for the front. So this is me separating it now. So this is my front panel, and then this is my back panel here. So if you open it up, this is what it looks like right now. So I'm going to set this aside and then cut out the neckline in front here. So this is what I'm cutting out here. If you want the neckline lower, then you can come down by maybe 5 inches or 4 inches. It depends on how you want it, but I want it high neckline. So I've cut it out now. So what you're going to do, because now as you can see, we don't have any zip allowance, so what you're going to do is just to give it a slit at the back. Maybe come down by about 6 inches down here at the back, or 5 inches, it depends on you. So from here, so I'll come down by about 5 inches here. So mark it 5 inches and open it up. So what you're going to do next is you're going to cut a piece of fabric. So this dress is basically done the way you're seeing it now. So this is what the back would look like. You're going to cut like a square, or I can even take from what I cut out from when I was cutting the armhole, like take one of them here, and just what you're going to do is to cut out the excess, like the rough sides, and then put it in here, right side facing each other. That's what you're going to use to make the facing, is what I'm trying to say. So you're going to put, this is the right side, this is the right side of this. You're going to place it here and then sew on the, let me show you. So you're going to place it and then you're going to make a stitch all the way down here, come over, make a stitch all the way down here, and then cut it open and flip it in. So that's how you're going to finish up the back neckline. And then you would also use bias to finish up the whole neckline here. So after that, to finish up the sleeve, what we're going to do is to cut out. This is what I'll be using for the ruffle. So remember, my armhole that I'm working with is about 14 inches, right, round the armhole. So 14 inches, I added extra 2 inches to it, so I have around 16 here, and I cut 2 of it. As you can see, I have one here and this is the second one, and the width I'm working with is about 5 inches. That's because I'm going to fold, remember, I'm going to fold this end here, so 1 inch is gone, and then I'm also going to fold the other end here, so the second inch is gone. So what I'm left with in between is about 3 inches. So, and then this is how I'm going to attach it to the sleeve. So first of all, I'm going to first cut this here. So guys, how I'm going to do it is, like, as you can see, I'm going to put this on top here and just pleat it on top of this. Just pleat it like you normally do normal pleating. Just pleat it on top of this here, but I'm going to stop halfway into the sleeve and then finish up the rest with bias. But I'm going to stop maybe halfway into the armhole. So you just have to check where you want yours to stop. So mine will stop about 4 inches down. So this is where mine will stop. It won't go all the way. Then I'm going to use bias to finish up the rest. Like, I use the complete armhole for this, like 14 inches instead of like what I have here. Since I'm going to just be using pleating only on half of this sleeve, is because remember it's pleating, so it's going to take up ×2 of the space that you're pleating it on. So that's why I used the complete armhole inches here. So what I'm going to do now, if you look at the picture, you'll find that the top part here is wider and then it narrows this way, like it's like an angle. So what I'm going to do is just to come up here by maybe about 2, because remember I'm still going to fold 1 inch here, so maybe come up by about 1.5 inches here, and then I'm going to just mark it just like an angle up to this point here, and then I'm going to cut it off. This is what the dress looks like at the moment. I did one side and I'm trying to show you guys how I'm going to finish up the second sleeve. So this is the bottom here. So this is the A line. If you want, that's why I was saying if you want, you could use 10 inches if you feel like this is too wide for you. But remember, if you're using like a fabric that doesn't have wax, when it drops, it will have like a flare at the bottom. So that's why, like if your fabric is not as stiff as this, when it drops, like when the child is wearing it, it will have like a flare like this, almost like a circle dress. So the next thing is to show you guys how I finish the sleeve. So this is the side that I already did. So this is what it looks like. You're supposed to just, so let me show you with this side. So this is the sleeve, right? Remember, you're going to fold the 1 inch. We left 1 inch to fold at the bottom here, and then you also folded this end here, right? And then remember, when we're cutting this out, we added extra 2 inches. Instead of 14, we used 16. So 1 inch for folding this end and 1 inch for folding this end here. So now all you have left is just the 14 inches that is your actual armhole, right? So what you're going to do now is to take this here. This curved side is going to be on the outer part, and then this straight side is going to be placed on the this here. That's how it's going to, because you're looking at it now, you might think it's this way, but no, it's going to be this way. So all you have to do is to check halfway of the armhole. So mine is going to start somewhere here, about 4 inches down. So yeah, this is 4 inches. So mine is going to start here. So what you're going to do is to just, the center of this here, fold it into, to find the center, and then you're going to place it on top of this here, this way, and then you start pleating it coming down this way. You start pleating it all the way, and then you pleat it and get to the 4 inches, you stop, and then you do the same for the other side, the back, do the same. So you're going to put it this way on your sewing machine. You're going to open it up this way, and then you place the center, and then you pleat it on this side, and then you also pleat this side. What you have left, what you're going to do is to cut straps like this here, and then you're going to use a bias to finish it up, right? So that's how I did this here. If you look at this one here, you'll see I used a bias to finish up this part here. I already have a video on how to finish use a bias. I also used the same piece of cloth to finish up my neckline, and then I gave it a buttonhole here. As you can see, it has a buttonhole, so that when I'm done, I'm going to put button on this side and then use it to close it up. So this is what the back looks like, and this is the how I finished up the back here. So you see, this is what it looks like, and then this is it here. So you put your button on one side, and then you close it up with the other end here. So I'm just going to finish up the other side of my sleeve and then fold the end of my cloth, and that will be the end. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Bye.